All right, so the important thing is in your template, you ideally would have this set up in your views, but in this case, I don't. So let me show you how to create views. So in AutoCAD, you just type view and it opens the view manager. Well, I need model views. So there's a test. Let me see where this is. Okay, that doesn't help me much. I want to create some preset views. So first thing to know is when you set your view, it is going to preset the scale that it's going to come into sheet set or your layout with based on the scale down here. So I generally want my planes and elevations at 3/4 inches equal to a foot. So I'm going to have that set when I make my plane and elevation views. So let's first do that. And I go to new, I'm going to make my plan, I'll just say plan. And then I'm going to define the view window. And this is going to be my plan view. You can define it however it needs to work for you. And then if I expand this, is where you can see some of the additional things. Like if I want to snapshot the layers, if I have certain layers on or off now, it'll save that with the view as well. Okay, so then I want to make a elevation view. And I want the elevation to be mapped right here. Okay. All right. Now I want my section, but I want my section to be at 1.5 inches equals a foot. So now I'm going to change that scale. I'm going to go to view, new, section, and let's make this a little bit more cropped. Okay. Awesome. So now we're going to go back here. Important we save. And then I want to, in sheet set, go to my model views. And I need to add a location. And I want to go to SSM demo is the project I'm currently in. And it's going to look blank, but that's because I'm just mapping to a folder location. So what you'll see here, though, is what I see is this CAD file that I'm in, which is the only one I have in the folder currently. And then I've got my elevation plan section. These are the views we just mapped. So if I want to put this on paper space, I can go to right click, place on sheet. And you'll see it comes in at this pre-mapped scale. So it's telling me 1:16. Before I place it though, if I want to change the scale, I can right click and change the scale. But it's going to default to the scale that I set the view at originally. So this being 11/17 sheet size, that's a little bit too big. Let's do 1/2 inch. And then let's go right here. And what that is doing is it is just placing the view. And then I can crop it just like, or work with it just like a regular viewport. So let's do elevation. And I'm going to change this to 1/2 inch as well. And then because I mapped the extents in model space with the same bottom left base point, if I place the left the same that I did the viewport, they will align. All right. Now I'm not getting my view label blocks, so I'm going to go check and troubleshoot why that might be. Because this should come in view label. Select the drawing, it says blocks. I think I'm missing this block file for my view labels. Okay, went offline for a second and figured out my view label issue. So I've got the block mapped here for example's sake. And so the last one I want to add is my section. You'll see this one. Hopefully I get it right. I'm going to place this on sheet and let's go to 1 inch equals a foot. Let's put it right here. And you see my label came in at the same time already with my sheet name and my scale. So the scale is mapped to the viewport. So I'm going to adjust this a little bit. And once it's placed, I can work it just like a regular viewport. I want to line this up. Okay, now I'm going to stretch, yada, yada. And just to show that this is linked, if I were to change one of these scales, for example, so now I want to change this viewport scale to, let's do back to 1.5 inches. And then I regen, see this scale changed to 1.5 inches. Change it back to inch, 1 inch. I'm going to lock these, lock your viewports in paper space. It's the best way to go. And I'm actually going to change a setting here. All right. So I've got this. I'm going to put these on my viewport layer so they don't blot. I'm going to shift these over. Okay. How do I get labels numbered? Well, let's see. I don't like that. Sorry, I'm a little anal retentive here. All right. So let's go here. We need to go to our Sheet Views tab and rename and renumber our views. So my plan, I'm going to make this number 1. So rename and renumber 1 plan. My section, I'm going to make that section A. Okay. And that should have been a capital A. And then my elevation, I'm going to make 2. Okay. So again, when I regen, I've got a 1, I've got a 2, I've got an A for my section. Pretty nifty, eh? All right. Well, what if I want to put a tag here in my plan view to reference my elevation? Well, sheet set makes that pretty easy. So I want to reference my elevation and put a tag that references it. So let's right click, place callout block. I'm going to put a plan tag in. That's my block that I've pre-named. And that did not work. All right, so I got my second block figured out. And I want to place callout block. And so this gives me my elevation, which is 2 and 2. And if I were to change that for some reason to 3, see this changed to 3, this changed to 3. So I'm going to change it back to 2, 2, 2. All right, and I want to put my section tag here. Let's go to section. And in this case, it's a dynamic block that gives me everything. Okay, so there's my section callout. Now, if you're like me, you might want these to be in model space. There's a nifty tool called CH space. If you did like me and you put them in paper space first. And so I can select these and did I do it right? Target viewport active, percentage continue. Oh, interesting. I have the wrong scale set. I have my viewport set to 1/2 inch. It was a foot, I believe. An annotative issue here. There we go. Came in scaled to 24 for some reason. All right. So, but you can use CH space, and I can select this object, push it through, and then it's because I placed it in paper space. I betcha. I betcha. See, you get real with me, and I show you my mistakes at the same time. Okay, so what if I wanted to not have to even deal with that? All right, I can double click in the viewport I want to place it in. Again, have it locked first. That way I can scroll in, scroll out, and not mess up my scale. So I want to place an elevation tag, and it's going to place it in model space because I have model space active in this viewport. And I want to go here and I want to place my section. Ta-da. Okay. So why go through all this trouble? Where does the efficiency come in? So one, now that I have all of that, say for instance, I have a bunch of different sheets in here. So let's go ahead and add a couple more. Project, new room. Let's add a new room. Let's say 102 office. Okay, I'm going to use that same template. And I've got my dealio here. I'm going to go create a new subset. Call this 102 office. And then I'm going to import layout as sheet. I want that as a child to this. And then I'm going to hit save here. I'm going to go like this. Rename and renumber. 102.1 plans and elevations. Okay. Now I got another sheet here. So that's great. And now if I want to make an index or a cover sheet, so I'm going to add a new, let's call this 100 cover. Great. On a cover sheet, you want to have your index. So first I need to, again, I need this page to be a part of my sheet set. So Control S, make sure I'm saved current, import layout as sheet. Okay, and I want this to be up here. I'm going to rename and renumber 100.1 cover. Use a decimal here in the US. Okay, I want an index on here. So if I can click on my sheet set, I can go insert sheet list table. And so here is where I can put in different properties from various sheets, but not the least of which is sheet number, sheet title. You can add and pick whatever properties you're using. So I'm just going to do those two, but I could do sheet, I think category, and show subheader. Let's see how this works. And I'm going to call this my drawing index.